My final question to you both is one that I think is really important, is because it seems like a very practical, temporal commandment or advice or whatever you would say it was. But how does the word of wisdom point us to Jesus Christ?
That's a great question. I think it goes back to what Paul says, know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that our bodies are what can house the Spirit that will dwell in us. And if that temple is having some problems, if it's got a lot of baggage, so to speak, because of our dietary habits, and the substances that we're putting in our bodies, if they're harmful, that's going to affect our mind, but it's also going to affect our spirit as well. And if we have those things going on, we're not going to be able to receive the messages that Christ wants us to hear. And that could be as small as, not receiving a prompting or listening to a prompting to help someone else, or it could be, much bigger than that. It all depends on the person and the situation, but I think each of us has an obligation to take care of our bodies that we have been given, that are literally a gift from God. When we leave this place and we're done on this earth, this is the only thing that we get to take with us after we're resurrected. This is the only thing that we're going to have. Of course, we're going to have all our relationships and things, but this is the only physical thing that we get to keep. This is ours. This is a gift from God, and I think we should treat it as such.
Yeah. Alongside that, when I was sick, when I wasn't following these principles and I was sick, I had no energy or ability to do any work for the Lord. He could barely work through me. I look at the end part of my mission, and when I was so sick, I could barely get out of bed a lot of mornings. I look at, when we were young marrieds, I had no energy to give to God. I had nothing to offer him because I was barely surviving. And since I've been better, I have been able to give God and his children so much of my time, my energy that I never had before. And so living these principles allowed me to draw closer to him and to do his work that I physically was unable to do before. And I think that's the case for a lot of people, is that we would love to serve God, but we can't. We have physical limitations. And following his principles brings miraculous, like not just natural, but also miraculous healings, because he's God and could do anything. And when we have those healings and we have those blessings, our lives change in every way, and we can do his work. We can open our minds and hearts to him to be useful. And so I fully agree with everything that Jordan said, and we've talked about this ad nauseum for years, but I feel so good with God. And I also know that I have this confidence and faith, my increased faith, knowing that I have been taking care of this body that he gave me, and I can feel confident standing before him when I pray, when I talk to him, that I'm doing a good job to take care of myself. I don't have any guilt. I don't have any shame. I don't feel bad talking to God about this body that I have, because I know that I'm treating well, and I get his help with it and other things too. And so in every way, it's brought us closer to God.